At the beginning of the film, we see a pregnant girl sitting by the beach. This girl's name was Rebecca. At this time, she was talking to her husband in her thoughts. She tells him that whether you talk to me or not, I will always talk to you. I know that you have gone far away from me, but that doesn't mean I have stopped loving you. It was clear that Rebecca's husband had passed away. In her thoughts, she tells him that the last gift you gave me is very special to me. As soon as she says this, the scene cuts here, and we are shown a little girl on the same beach. This little girl was actually Rebecca. The story had gone back to the past. At this time, when Rebecca was playing on the beach, a boy passed by her. Both of them smiled at each other and felt an attraction towards one another. The next day, the boy comes back to the beach to talk to her again. He introduces himself as Tommy and becomes friends with her. From that day on, the two of them start spending more and more time together because they both enjoyed being together a lot. One day, while playing, they found a snail near their home, which they picked up and brought home. Seeing it, both of them were very happy. Tommy said that tomorrow they would go and release it back on the beach. Chargeback tells her that she can't come with him tomorrow as they are going back to Japan tomorrow. Hearing this, Tommy became very sad because perhaps their friendship was ending here. Rebecca went back home and he kept thinking about her. He called Rebecca and said, "Wait for me. At the port tomorrow, I will bring something for you." The next day, he wanted to show her that before it was sold. Tommy waited for a long time, but Tommy did not come to meet her, and in the end, she left for her journey without meeting him. After that, 12 years passed. Rebecca and Tommy did not meet again. Rebecca returned after 12 whole years to meet Tommy again. But when she went to Tommy's house, she found out that Tommy had left from there. Tommy's mom did not even recognize her. Then she reminded Tommy's mom about her by telling her about her grandpa. Then she finally got Tommy's address from Tommy's mom. Excitedly, she went to Tommy's house. Her heart was badly broken because there was a girl at Tommy's house. Seeing the girl made her feel so bad because she was coming to meet Tommy. After 12 years of waiting, thinking that just as she had waited for Tommy, he would have waited for her too. But seeing all this, her heart was broken. Anyway, it is shown that Tommy recognized Prakako immediately as the true childhood Rava. Although they hadn't met even once in those 12 years, the two of them started talking to each other and got so engrossed in their conversation that they didn't even realize that Tommy's friend was also sitting nearby at that time. Seeing them talking like this, she got angry and left, and Tommy didn't even stop her. Which means we understand that Tommy still likes Rebecca the most. From their conversation, we learn that Rebecca had become a software engineer and after completing her studies, had moved here permanently, while Tommy had become one once. They continued to meet each other. One day, Tommy takes Rebecca to the beach where she finally asks him if she is his girlfriend, to which Tommy did not say yes. He had met her for the first time just yesterday. Hearing this, Rebecca felt a little bit of happiness. Now even Tommy started feeling happy being with her. The next day, they meet again at Tommy's house, and Rebecca asked Tommy what he wanted to give her in childhood and why he didn't come to meet her that day. Then Tommy got up and left without saying anything. When he came back, he had a matchbox CM in his hand, and inside it was the same snail, the one they were planning to leave behind during their childhood. Tommy explained that he wanted to give her this snail, but that day he overslept and Rebecca left without meeting him. He had kept the snail safe until today. However, a year later, the snail had died. Seeing this snail, Rebecca feels reassured that Tommy still loves her just like in their childhood. That's why he had kept the snail safe, waiting for Rebecca. Upon realizing this, Rebecca's happiness doubled. Here, the two of them start talking about themselves. Tommy tells Rebecca that besides being a biologist, he is also working for the environment. The animals that become extinct, meaning they disappear from the world. Before they go extinct, he tries to create their clones to increase their population. Here, it was shown that he had cloned many cockroaches. Kripa was now impressed with Tommy after seeing his work. Tommy told her that with the help of this cloning method, he developed a clone of anything. Even a human can be made. Hearing this, Rebecca was shocked. Here, Tommy also suggests to Rebecca to join his group, in which they work together for the environment. Rebecca didn't find his idea bad either, so the two of them were going the next day to register Rebecca's name as an environmental activist. On the way, they were passing through a town, the sights of which were very beautiful. Rebecca told Tommy that she wanted to stop here for a while and enjoy. Tommy also stopped the car, and as soon as the car halted, Rebecca excitedly started running towards the field. She was enjoying when suddenly she heard the sound of something colliding with a car. She turned around and saw that Tommy, who had gotten out of the car, was coming right behind her. A car came and hit him here. Understandably, Tommy was killed right in front of her eyes. This incident completely shattered Rebecca. Tommy, whom she had waited for 12 years, with whom her life had become so much better, he had died so suddenly. She started feeling that she would never be able to get herself out of this incident, that she wouldn't be able to move on. Day by day, she was sinking into depression, but then she got an idea from Tommy's belongings. As soon as she got this idea, she went to Tommy's parents. She said to them, "I love Tommy just as much as you do, and if you want, Tommy can live again." Hearing her words, both of them felt that perhaps Pekka had gone mad. But Pekka was not mad. In fact, Pekka was talking about creating a clone of Tommy, for which she needed the legal permission of Tommy's parents, and also required some tissues from Tommy's deceased body. She needed to have Tommy exhumed from his grave, and for this too, she required permission from Tommy's parents. After Tommy's death, they did not want to cause their son any more distress, so they refused Rebecca and sent her away. But the next day, we see that Tommy's dad came and gave Rebecca the papers that she had taken to their house. Tommy's dad had signed them so that Rebecca could do her work. He says, "You can do whatever you want, but now we are leaving this place. We remember Tommy too much in this house." Rebecca was very happy today. She had started working from the very next day. She had created a clone from Tommy's body tissue, which she then went to the lab to have implanted inside her body. And now this clone of Tommy was going to be fully developed inside Rebecca's body. A few months pass, and it is finally shown that Pekka had given birth to a child who looked exactly like Tommy. Rebecca named him Tommy. Life started moving forward quickly. Tommy also grew up. We were shown that at this time he looked just like the childhood Tommy. His actions, eating and drinking style, everything, even his thinking, was just like the old Tommy. Now one day, Tommy comes to the pack with his friend and asks about his diet. She gets a little nervous and tells him that before you were born, your dad, Tommy, died in an accident. Well, this seemed normal, as any child would ask about their dad, but here the situation was different. In fact, the news started spreading in the society that Rebecca's son, Tommy, was not an ordinary person, but a clone, which is why people and children began to keep their distance from him. One day, when Tommy's friend invites him to her house to play, she refuses, saying that she won't play with the clone. Some parents even went to the school. They were asking the principal to expel Tommy from the school. They didn't want their children to study with a clone. Hearing this, Pekka's heart broke. That night, no one came to Tommy's party either, and seeing this, tears welled up in Pekka's eyes. She realized that the time had come for Pekka to leave this town, because if she didn't leave this town, someone would eventually tell Tommy the truth about him being a key clone. Pekka took Tommy to a deserted place where there was only their house and no one else's. There she raised Tommy all by herself. Pala was very happy with me at this place. Years passed, and we were shown that he had grown up and looked exactly like him. Today, he brought a friend to his house, which made Rebecca uneasy because she never considered this Tommy as her son. Tommy told Rebecca that his friend would stay with them at their house for a few days. Rebecca doesn't refuse Tommy, and the girl starts staying with them for a few days. But she notices that there wasn't a mother-son relationship between the two. Tommy was unusually close to Rebecca, and this made the girl feel very awkward. She left them and then went away in a state of confusion. The next day, we see that Tommy's mom had actually returned back to meet him to see him once again. They were talking to each other when suddenly, in front of them, Tommy's clone appeared, which left them completely astonished, bewildered, and in shock. Their astonishment was evident as she couldn't say anything upon seeing this clone Tommy, and could not comprehend the situation, and silently departed quietly from the scene, pondering over the mysterious events. Who was she, and why was she looking at Tommy like that? These were all questions Rebecca asked, but Rebecca didn't answer any of them. Tommy was now filled with intense and overwhelming anger and frustration, and was unable to control his emotions. Not only did he not know anything about his real parents, but Rebecca also kept hiding things from him every day. All this anger was slowly ruining Tommy's personality. Tommy had a friend who came to meet him today, but she also got frightened and alarmed by the unexpected turn of events, seeing Tommy's anger, and left. Tommy caused a lot of chaos and destruction in the house, which left the house in disarray and in utter chaos, and made Rebecca come to the realization that the day had come when she had to tell Tommy the truth. She gathered immense courage and determination, and then told Tommy the whole story of how she had created a clone of her friend Tommy. Rebecca's words were incomprehensible and baffling to his already confused mind, so out of utter frustration and despair, she gave the real Tommy's laptop and belongings to this clone Tommy. After seeing all these things, Tommy understood that he wasn't a real person, he was just a clone. He was now very deeply emotionally shattered, devastated and heartbroken inside, with a sense of hopelessness. His confidence was shattered, and he didn't know how he would navigate and survive in this harsh and unforgiving world. He asked Rebecca why she did it, why she created a clone. She explained that she cherished, adored and loved Tommy very much, with all her heart and soul, and didn't want to be away from him, so she made a clone of Tommy so she could always be with him. Rebecca's words made this clone Tommy deeply emotional and moved too, with tears in his eyes, and here, the two came very emotionally close and connected to each other in a profound way. At this time, Rebecca told Tommy that he was her Tommy, just like she had brought him back after death, but perhaps all her efforts were going to be futile and in vain, because at the end of the movie, we are shown that this clone Tommy was slowly departing from the scene. He didn't call Rebecca Mom today, but addressed her by her name and said thank you before departing from the scene with a heavy heart and a sense of loss, while Rebecca was left weeping and sobbing behind, in a state of utter despair, and the movie ended showing this scene.